How we doing? How we doing? How we doing, y'all? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Even though there's nobody actually in the chat, and I just like to talk to myself. So, anyway, there's that. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. I'm just gonna get through some of these things here. See if anybody actually shows up here. Get in here. I'll just keep playing music, okay? There we go. I gotta play another little song here. What's going on? Oh, yeah, false statements and obstruction also there. How we doing that? I'm glad I can see the people over there on the good old Rumble world over there. Thank you so much for popping in on the Rumble world. If you want to also watch me on YouTube, you can do that also. You don't have to, but it's an option anyway. But at least you can sort of say what you want to on Rumble. But I'm assuming you're kind of right wing, so I won't think you're a troll. Like I had a couple trolls at my YouTube the other day. Like, seriously, you're going to start a conversation with calling a person names? That was weird. Anyway, nice to see you over there. What should I call you? Can I call you Vet? Can I call you Vet? I like to either one word name, so I can't. I'm going to call you Vet for now. Not that you're a veteran, but you might be. But I'm going to call you Vet for now. Here, let's go check and see some news here. What's going on here? We'll probably get into some of that stuff. We saw some Comey news down there, but I put some bookmarks in on some of the stuff here, so I wanted to check in, see on some of this stuff that I put some things in here. This one I just found recently here. Portland is supposedly starting to kind of close some of the encampments and everything down, you know, the outdoor camping sites, if you know what I mean. And anyway, meltdown like a spoiled toddler as the Portland police rapid response squad clears the garbage and debris from her comrades' illegal Antifa encampment next to the ICE government facility. She yells, screams, and proves once again chaos is all they know. Yeah, they've got this encampment that's kind of been setting up next to the ice building for quite a while. And the new rule in Portland is no encampments. They're actually going to try to crack down on it, probably because maybe some dignitaries coming in or something like that. But anyway, let's see what the Antifa and the police have a little discussion here about here.
What you're wearing?
Just walk, just so that way
We're not trespassing.
Antagonize us. And if it's just her here, he comes over and just berates her.
I can see why.
But
Bullshit, you motherfucker!
honestly, the first time that happened,
The Portland police are getting sick of it, because they haven't been allowed to come over and sort of take care of business, so to speak, next to the ice building. But now that they can they're allowed to clean up encampments, they're kind of coming over there, and it's like he can see why that someone might berate somebody like this person behind the camera here.
it was a civil conversation, and he just
Is
decided,
she capable of that?
yes,
She is.
absolutely. That is a very intelligent and respectful.
I'm not saying she's not. She's very hostile though.
Yeah, you wonder why. Wonder fucking why.
And you're cussing at a police officer when you're trying to get something across to the person there. Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do with a police officer is cuss them out. I know you want to say the 4-letter word to police officers, but not a great idea when they're right in front of you.
Did I give you any
Wonder
reason to be,
fucking why.
other than what I'm wearing, did I give you any reason to be so
What you're
hostile?
wearing is enough.
Okay.
What you're wearing is enough.
What you're wearing is enough. It's like that's all they care about is it's a uniform. This happens to say Portland Police, and then that's all they want to act like and everything at that point there. Even though this guy here is usually the girls, the females are the nice people or whatever at these sort of Antifa situations, and the guys are the ones that kind of stand behind the girls and get ready to duke it out or whatever if things get crazy. But here, the guy in the mask is trying to be the civil one, so to speak. Here, it appears. Anybody else in the chat there? Anybody else in the chat?
Well then,
You are not on our side.
okay. You know what? That's fine. You can say whatever you want.
I
Again,
do. I can.
Free speech, yes, but there's certain things that you'll get better results if you use a different kind of speech, right? Isn't that kind of the case, guys? If you're sort of nicer to certain people, like police officers, guess what usually happens? They'll return the favor and be nice to you. If you're not nice to them, guess what might happen here? I'm assuming we'll find out.
It's my
we don't need
First
to have a
Fucking
conversation.
Amendment right.
You're absolutely
He
right.
really
And
is.
I can
Talk,
dismiss-
I agree with you.
What did you guys do when I called about the woman throwing the rocks from her balcony? What did you do? You walked away when we called about the woman. Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
These are the tolerant people in Portland. Those are the tolerant people in Portland there, guys. Yeah, they call themselves tolerant of people's views. Yeah. Yeah. You see the tolerance. Well, sorry, I forgot to make that bigger for you guys to see there. I apologize. And let's go up to north here to Canada, here, British Columbia, here, where the ostrich farm situation is still going on. A second hay bale fire broke in Universal Ostrich Farms this evening. After the first fire, most people, including myself, presumed some sort of arson. After the second fire, and upon further reflection, I think there might be something else going on here. Let's see what he says here.
Drones in the... Hey, Stacey here. I know it's late, but I got a few things to say, and it's hard to put in one post. For those who haven't seen the latest development at Universal Ostrich Farms, there has been another fire. So the hay bales that caught fire, the 3-stacked high giant kind of culling area, murder wall I've been calling it, caught fire. A lot of the speculation was that was arson or someone had snuck in. That seems highly unlikely or very difficult given the fact that there was so much RCMP, drones in the air, tons of law enforcement everywhere. But that fire did happen, and now a second fire. But what's interesting is that although it may seem very counterintuitive, wet hay bales, so hay bales that are baled wet, can and do regularly spontaneously combust. So as they dry, it's a physics problem, but they can spontaneously combust. So
Interesting.
these bales very well may have combusted on their own initially. Fire departments came in, they put out that fire or doused it, I imagine, which would have caused more moisture. Generally, if there was a hay bale on fire or a giant wall of hay bales, I think the normal procedure would be to break that up, split up the bales, put out the fire, and spread them out to prevent the opportunity of further combustion. Not only that, I think generally firefighters would stay behind, or some official would stay behind. They'd leave a truck, they'd leave something to monitor, look for hot spots, and make sure something didn't flare back up.
Makes
In
sense.
this case, they left the entire wall up that could have caused this. The murder wall is more important than ongoing safety, basically. So they left the wet hay bales that may have combusted because they're wet. They left them up because they need to murder these ostriches so badly.
But they took down the other ones that likely were not going to be combustible. And interesting.
And likely, or quite possibly, they caught fire again. So to say that any of this is about safety.
Hey, Steelman, nice to see you. What's going on with you? I saw you on Ryan's panel earlier or something like that. I wasn't watching too long, but saw you on there. Hope you're doing good. I don't get a whole lot of people popping over here, so I get to say hi to everybody that pops in over here and waves. Feel free to watch along, see if you agree with the corruption going on in Canada. And I'm not from Canada. I just kind of interested in the story.
Absolutely ridiculous. This thing is...
It's kind of weird, a conservative ostrich farm and everything, and the state's kind of going in there to call some of the birds because there's a disease supposedly going around that might be transmittable, but the past 250 days they've tested these animals. They don't have it anymore, but they still want to sort of eliminate them. And they're taking down cameras, so there's no oversight over what's going on there or anything like that. And it's on a private farm.
Such a clown show. You got people running around in maybe hazmat suits, but not following any hazmat procedure. The whole thing is an optics sham. It's absolutely crazy. And if it is in fact the case that they put wet hay bales in there that caught fire, then didn't extinguish them properly, and they caught fire again, that's a major problem. Man, it's late. I'm a bit tired. There'll be lots more about this, but man, it's just one thing after another.
Yeah, but trust the state to take care of animal situations. Yeah, the state's great at doing that. Joseph Biden. How many chickens did he eliminate and everything that brought the egg prices up there quite high? Yeah, and then later on, they left it. He's decided to blame that kind of stuff on Trump, even though he kind of fixed the problem. Anyway, this is interesting here. I think this is from a video from a while ago or whatever that's in relation to the supposed stuff that somebody brought up, a congressional higher up or something like that, informed people that possibly 275, I heard 274, were embedded in the crowd at January 6th. See what this guy says here.
It's our constitutional duty to do oversight. Now, in that video, that was your answer to a question to me 2 years ago, when I said how many agents or assets of the government were present on January 5th and January 6th and agitating in the crowd to go into the Capitol, and how many went into the Capitol. Can you answer that?
Digimon. I don't like Pokemon, much less Digimon, whoever that is. Does it look like a Digimon channel with an old guy like me on here? Not saying I'm super old, but yeah, not. If there was like a Gen Z person on here, or Gen Alpha type or whatever, then you could say, is it a Pokemon thing? Although I guess there's some old guys that like Pokemon, but I'm not a Pokemon fan. Watched it once, just to see what the craze was about, and I'm like, this is worse than Captain Planet, But anyway, nice to see people over there on Twitch. No worries. How is it in the Digimon section? What? Twitch. It's the same title as it's on Twitch, right? What was the title here? I mean, here's the title. If that came up in the Digimon section, how does it do that? I can edit the title there. What did I miss in the news today? How does that title show up in the Digimon area? Digi News or something like that? Is that how it shows up there? It's okay. I mean, you can stay and chit chat if you want to. I could try to think of it. How is that a Digimon thing? I'm gonna keep that title the way it is. See if I get any more Digimon fans over here, or Pokemon fans. Interesting. Thanks for popping in. That is weird. I know Twitch is going crazy over there or something like that. But you stick around and see if any other Digimon fans come around and say, where did you come from? You know, like, this isn't a Digimon channel. This is a politics thing. Anyway.
That now.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, last time, you don't know how many there were or there were none?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. If there were any, I don't know how many.
You've
I don't know whether there are any.
The Attorney General of the United States doesn't know how many there were. He's technically in charge of the FBI and the Justice Department that sort of set that up. You think that, is he going to be the next person here because he doesn't know if there were any? Maybe he doesn't know how many there were, but I'm guessing he probably did know that there were some out there. So would that be another lying to Congress thing right there?
I think you may have just perjured yourself that you don't know that there were any. You want to say that again, that you don't know that there were
I have
any?
no personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said the last time.
You've had 2 years.
You're the Attorney General. It's not a personal thing. It's a business. It's a job thing. As the person in charge of the FBI and one of the major, an event where you knew thousands or 1 million people are going to show up in DC, you might have wanted to kind of dot your I's and cross your T's. So you're going to say you're either incompetent or you didn't know that there were agents there. K2, what do you think is going on here? What kind of, is it? You must be like a Gen Z person. You always sound like you're a millennial when I see you on panels, but your chat behavior or something like that makes you seem like you're more of a Gen Z type person or something like that. So I'm not sure if you're really, might have saw you on screen once, but I can't tell if you're Gen Z, why not Gen Alpha, but Gen Z or millennial here. So I need confirmation here. Well, just assume you're over age.
To find out. And the day, by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps. And yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet.
And you think he kind of planned that on this day here? This was probably back in 2021. That he gave Ray Epps a misdemeanor the day before he shows up to Congress saying, see, I did something about Ray Epps after he didn't do anything for the longest time. What's going on? Emmett and Steelman, hey, if you guys want to, you two special people over there, my face is not grifting. What are you talking about? My face doesn't grift. Your face grifts. But anyway, if Emmett and Steelman want to do a debate, you guys come up with the topic in the chat or whatever, and I'll let you debate it. You might find a topic related to what I'm watching or something like that. I'm going to try to start to do something like that where I get two people opposite sides of a story that I'm looking at or some questions or something like that, and see if you guys want to sort of duke it out with words on here.
You've got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach. You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor. The American public isn't buying it. I yield the balance of my time to Chairman Jordan.
May I answer the question?
I'm going to ask you one now. Yeah, we'll let the gentleman.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but
In discovery,
He's not sure what to say.
in the cases were filed with respect to January 6, the Justice Department.
Hold off on the answer there. Why are people calling me uncle here? What's this uncle stuff? Yes, I am an uncle, but that's beside the point. You know, I'm definitely not your dad, and I'm certainly I'm not your uncle. I know all my nephews and everything. So, well, what is this with this uncle? Or you call everybody uncle? I'm just kidding. Although I did have somebody else from Hawaii in last night or whatever that said aloha too. So anyway, a lot of Hawaiians around here. That's cool. What did K2 say? Oh, tyranny. Oh, are you getting picked on? K2's getting picked on. Somebody feel sorry for K2 so he doesn't feel picked on by mods. Okay, make sure take care of K2's feelings. Okay, somebody. We want to make this a safe place for K2.
The prosecutors provided whatever information they had about the question that you're asking. With respect to Mr. Epps, the FBI has said that he was not an employee or informant of the FBI. Mr.
Notice what he said there. The FBI has said he's not this or that. So in case it comes back later, if he had said like he is not an employee of the FBI, then that would be considered a lie. But since the way that he said it there, he could get off the hook for that particular thing.
Epps has been charged, and there's a proceeding, I believe, going on today on that subject.
The charge is a joke. I yield to the chairman.
The charge is a joke. Sometimes Massey's okay or whatever. He doesn't really vote very intelligently, but sometimes the stuff he says is pretty cool. Let's take care of that one there. You guys behaving in the chat there? You're trying to behave today? Or half you guys behaving or like only a third of you guys behaving today? This is might be a long video here. What was I'll come back to Bo Diddle here. I watch it. Most of his stuff on YouTube anyway. So David Froome from The Atlantic is having a full-fledged panic attack on CNN right now, probably in relation to the Comey thing. Let's see what this David Froome guy says here.
Charges in American history.
I think we all need to mark this day, September 25th. It's a major milestone on America's transition from a fully free to a less free country. And I think that what you just remarked about George Soros is so important because, look, I think the tendency of some of the excellent reporting that we've heard over the past 20 minutes has been to offer viewers a little bit of comfort.
I'm never sarcastic, I would never say anything sarcastic at all in the chat there. No, not me. I am not sarcastic whatsoever. So when I say something like I'm not a grifter whatsoever, I don't grift in the channel. Okay, I don't grift. I simply inform you of things like that, like buttons, things like that. I'm not being sarcastic and anything at all. I'm just giving you information. Okay, there we go. Oh, different name. Okay. That's what it was. I figured when I saw the aloha, I don't get a whole lot of Hawaiian people out there. Thanks for popping in, DJ.
Maybe the case will be dismissed as a selective prosecution. Maybe the jury will refuse to convict. But the president.
But the grand jury already said brought it to the table. The grand jury said, yes, it looks like there might be a case here. So are you going to blame Trump or are you going to blame a grand jury in Washington, D.C.?
Has here an agenda that is bigger than mere retribution, is reprehensible and un-American and contemptible and vile and undemocratic, and I'll fill in the words as that is.
The grand jury, it's 75% Democrats, is vile. Is that what I just kind of heard you say there? And probably 70% African American also in Washington, D.C. Are they also vile? Are they vile since they agreed to run the indictment through? I mean, you say spurg out so much.
Shooting of Charlie Kirk, that heinous crime. The president went on national television and he said what he wants to do next, and that is attack the fundraising of the Democratic Party by using the prosecution mechanism.
What did Trump say after he kind of won the election and noticed that Kamala Harris was in debt $20 million? He said something to the effect of, do you need a donation and everything? We're doing just fine on our end over here. We could help bail you out if you need help being bailed out. That's what he said on his True Social, if not to the press directly. Yeah, that guy, fundraising for Democrats. Next.
This is not just a backward-looking prosecution against the president's past enemies. This is a declaration.
Okay, K2. I don't know what you're talking about with this sort of thing here. You think I do this reverse psychology thing or something like that? No, I didn't take psychology. Actually, I did take psychology 101. I don't think did I take 201? I did. I think I took 2 courses of psychology back in the day. But anyway, if there are more people in here to play this song, Bill Tifa wrote about my grifting skills or something like that. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But if I see up to 5 people in the chat here right now, there's 3 total, 2 on YouTube, 1 on Twitch, or whatever. Then I'll play the song since technically you beat that first goal there. So clap for doing that. Okay. Oh, Bon. I call you Bon or just Bon. Nice to see you. Live from California. Nice to see you. Thank you, Bon. Nice to see. Is that short for somebody else I might know from Eddie's channel or something like that? I get a few Eddie Block supporters in here. But anyway, now that he did that, I need to change the goal down, don't I? I gotta go back in here. Find the goal that probably just got met there. Didn't it just get met? How do I do this thing? Because he did sort of meet the goal, didn't he? Because I thought the goal was a $1-$2 thing, or was it a $5 thing on the goal thing? One light blue. Isn't it light blue, the $2 one? Maybe the $5 one's the light blue one. Isn't the light blue one the $2 one? Maybe you have to do the $5 one to officialize the goal here. I thought I had it set up for a $2 one for the first one. Anyway, let's get back to the news here. I'm boring you guys again.
That the president and his one of his most important aides, Stephen Miller, has
Oregon, as you Californians call it. Actually, Republican I saw on Fox News tonight or something like that, they also called it Oregon. That's not the correct pronunciation. But see, I allow you guys to have free speech, okay? You guys can have your free speech and you can say Oregon all you want to. But the cool thing is, I don't know how you're saying it because you're just typing it. So you might think it's Oregon, even though it's Oregon, but you can say Oregon as you're typing it if you want to.
Made this point also explicitly, intends to act in the future to use the prosecution mechanism to pervert the 2026 elections, break up Democratic Party fundraising. That's why you go after Reid Hoffman. That's why you go after the Soros family.
You're going old school on your news there, Bon. What do I think about the BBC News reporting? Some tower went down. I'm assuming you're talking about 9/11 or something before it happened. I don't have any idea about that. But never forget 9/11. I'll give you that one.
They're important Democratic donors. Stop them, intimidate, and maybe even if you don't stop them, intimidate them, frighten them, warn them that there could be a prosecution in your future if you give money to my opponents. So President Trump is playing for all the marbles here, and the various forms of consolation that we have, maybe that Pam Bondi feels a little bad about her actions here. Pam Bondi should have walked out of the building. She's already disgraced herself by the fact that she's on the job tonight is a disgrace and an indication of who she.
Okay, so the people in the grand jury of Washington, D.C. that said that this case that is brought up to them is ready to go to the indictment stage, should those people all be fired from their jobs? Since they agreed with the same thing Pam Bondi agreed with here? You know, even their jobs aren't related to this directly, you know, but should they sort of be scolded by you for this? Or are you just kind of a paid contributor to say what's on the screen you're looking at there? Because that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Well, some people, not the stupidest, but pretty close. Anyway, what's going on there? Maybe. But you want to know another story, since there's not a whole lot of people here to tell the story to or anything like that, but I'll tell you a story about something that happened similar to what you're thinking there, where the news was reported before the actual event or whatever. Back in the day, I was at a game for the Supersonics, and they were in the playoffs. I think against Houston, if I recall. But anyway, deep into the fourth quarter, Seattle was down by like 3, maybe 4, 5 seconds left on the clock. And this back in the day when, you know, they would text message your phone or whatever, the scores of the games. So it gave me the score of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. I'm literally in the stadium watching it. And 5 seconds left. Seattle still has a miracle chance at possibly winning the game. What do I get on my text message? Final score, Seattle versus Houston, such and such. I'm like, I'm literally here watching this. How is it? Like, am I in a second? I was thinking, like, I had to pinch myself, like, is this real? Am I in the Matrix? Like, they're telling me the game ended. I'm like, I took a picture. I lost it by now, but of the scoreboard right there. Like, here's the score. 5 seconds left in the game. It was crazy. Anyway, for the people. Capitalism is the best. It's not really a form of government, but it allows people, the most opportunity to succeed. Capitalism. Any constitutional republic, in my opinion, is the best form of government to have, where you have better than a strict democracy. I'll tell you that.
He is and what she is. But more is coming as the president can have his way, and the 2026 elections are in grave danger, and this is one of the mechanisms, along with deploying police on the streets of cities, to make sure that the elections are not free and not fair so that Trump has a chance.
This is what you call TDS. This guy here, complete and utter TDS. I mean, there needs to be a pill to cure or limit the growth of TDS. He needs to take it ASAP before bad things happen. I'm not ignoring you. I answered you there, even though I appreciate you being the only one to chat in the chat there. But my problem is I've got the chat over here on my other screen here. So, and the thing here is kind of in the way of seeing this. I need to kind of readjust that. So I have to look around here. So it's a little bit of a challenge to do that every once in a while, but I should make it a little easier for you one of these days. But for now, that's the way it is. All these cheap little $20 Goodwill monitors too. Let's see what else we got going on in the news today. You guys behaving out there? K2, are you still trying to behave? Or pretending to behave? I forget what you're doing out there. Let's see. Nothing else going on there. I got to see a few people in the chat there. Well, you know what I haven't done yet? Let's do it real quick here. Bon, I'll assume you're a 1 on this one. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a human. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not sure if you're a human. Put a 3 in the chat if you're certainly not a human at all. Okay. Let's try to check and see what kind of people we have in the chat. Let's get rid of that one for now. You get the idea behind that one. This was about the Dallas thing here. Was this from yesterday or today? Earlier today, but this guy was pretty base. I think he was the ICE guy.
It was tragic. This is Charles. I am the ICE Executive Associate Director for Enforcement and Removal Operations.
Speed it up here.
The attack on ICE's Dallas field office yesterday was tragic. And while our hearts and prayers are with the family of the detainees who were shot, the evidence is clear that this was intended as an assault on ICE personnel who come to work every day to do their job. Violent rhetoric has led to over 1,000% increase in assaults on ICE officers, and it
1,000%. But remember, guys, the people on the right are the most violent type people. You know, yeah, because the statistics prove that out to the leftists.
Has to stop. In contrast to those who would demonize our men and women, yesterday our brave officers ran back into danger, along with ATF, our partners, to save the detainees while shots were still being fired. Those ICE officers just showed the world who they really are. Law enforcement officers who want the best for our country. That's ICE. Integrity, courage, excellence. They were willing to put their lives on the line to pull detainees out of the transport van to get them to safety. They are heroes, and I hope the media has the integrity to shine a light on this story.
I wonder if they had video on the grounds there at that time. That would be sort of a see if the leftists actually sort of feel bad or what they're doing or whatever out there. If they had video of ICE agents going into the van while they were under fire, or at least shortly after there was fire, to try to take care of the detainees, that would be an awesome video to see. I'm sure there's eyewitnesses there, but the leftists don't believe eyewitnesses. They barely believe cameras these days.
Enough is enough with the harmful lies and violent rhetoric. It has to stop. The shooter used the ICE tracking apps. Anyone who creates or distributes these apps that is designed to spot, track, and locate ICE officers are well aware of the dangers that they are exposing to law enforcement. It's a casting call to invite bad actors to attack law enforcement officers. It's no different than giving a hitman the location of their intended target, and this is exactly what we saw happen in Dallas yesterday.
Would the leftists out there, would they consider this guy a race traitor I don't think he's quite the same color as these other people's skin color. Not that it matters to me, but would the leftists consider him a little bit of a race traitor? I think they would.
The media has been amplifying these apps, even as we warned them it would only lead to more attacks on law enforcement. We truly wish we didn't have to say, "I told you so," but here we are. ICE continues to prioritize the safety and security of our personnel, detained aliens, and facilities. We will do everything possible to increase security to counter the increased wave of these lethal attacks. Again, we call on those who foment violence and vilify our law enforcement officers to cease the dangerous rhetoric. We also call on law-abiding.
I do have it running at 1.5 speed, so, but I think he's a little bit emotional about it because I'm assuming he was there when it happened, and detainee under his charge was eliminated. Not he would be feeling bad, that for his job, like, oh, I might lose my job because somebody got eliminated while I was there. He's sad because the loss of life.
Americans everywhere to report any suspicious activity. The individual that was out there yesterday shooting at our agents and our officers was trying to take the lives of law enforcement people doing their job. Instead, he killed a detainee and shot 2 others. That is something that's unacceptable. The rhetoric that's out there on social media, the rhetoric that is being said by some community leaders in other states needs to stop. There's been an increase in
No, so he didn't call out anybody by name, but you can imagine who he's referring to.
violence against ICE agents, not only in Texas and Dallas, but across the country in violent protests. Again, I ask everybody to just stop. Thank you. Charles, I am the ICE Executive Associate Director.
Come back to that one there. You guys still in the chat there? Anybody behaving themselves in the chat or pretending to behave themselves once in a while? Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are behaving yourselves here and there. Let's keep going here. This is the situation, when Ted Cruz was asking the information about what Grassley asked you. And Ted Cruz, like, doubling down, I think is what this was about.
He then asked you point blank, quote, "Have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?" You responded under oath, quote, "Never." He then asked you, quote, "Have you ever authorized
That camera angle is a little bit annoying there. Sorry about that.
someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton administration?" You responded again under oath, "No." Now, as you know, Mr. McCabe, who works for you, has publicly and repeatedly stated that he leaked information to the Wall Street Journal and that you were directly aware of it and that you directly authorized it. Now, what Mr. McCabe is saying and what you testified to this committee cannot both be true. One or the other is false. Who's telling the truth?
I can only speak to my testimony. I stand by what the testimony you summarized that I gave in May of 2017.
So your testimony is you've never authorized anyone to leak. And Mr. McCabe, if he says contrary, is not telling the truth. Is that correct?
Again, I'm not going to characterize Andy's testimony, but mine is the same today.
All right, I'm going to make a final point because my time has expired. This investigation of the president was corrupt. The FBI and the Department of Justice were politicized and weaponized. And in my
I think they've got McCabe or something like that. They got something on McCabe, or McCabe was one of those kind of FBI people that kind of came clean or whatever. It's like, please don't do anything to me or something like that. I'll give you the information you want. Just give me immunity or they call it when they set you up with a new identity.
In my opinion, there are only two possibilities. That you were deliberately corrupt or woefully incompetent. And I don't believe you were incompetent. This has done severe damage to the professionals and the honorable men and women at the FBI because law enforcement should not be used as a political weapon. And that is...
It's sad to see. I'm not sure what he said, but that's what I imagine he said. Let's see. Katie Davis Court here. I didn't hear her name here, but Vance and Trump kind of talk about Portland behavior, things like that. So this is a good follow here. Katie Davis Court on Twitter. Oh, she got over 200,000. Nice.
I spoke with Cash and Steve about this a couple of days ago, sir. So I believe it was in Oregon where you had a federal building where there were men
Sorry, no gas.
in black ski masks who were committing acts of violence, who were shutting down a government building. To the president's point, they don't come from nowhere. These are paid people. This is organized. They're committing acts of political terrorism on American soil. And it's time we had a government that looked out for the American people rather than the people who are committing violence against the American people.
When you go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland, this is like,
Look who's there with him. Assistant guy who does all the kind of paperwork there. Not sure who he is, but Stephen Miller, Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, Secretary of the Treasury. There's some probably had a bill related to the Treasury stuff also. Not a bill, but a EO.
like nobody's ever seen anything like it. Every night, and this has gone on for years. They just burned the place down, and you know the shop owners, most of them have left, but the few shops that are open, they just use plywood and just like 3/4-inch plywood. They don't put storefronts because they know it's going to be burned down. These are professional agitators.
Right.
These are bad people, and they're paid a lot of money by rich people, some of whom we know. I'm sure I know some. I don't. If I knew, I wouldn't associate because I'll be in trouble. Because Pam will say, "Why are you associating with this person?" But I will tell you that these are bad people, and they're paying a lot of money, millions of dollars. But take a look at Portland sometime. These are these are crazy people, and they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. And on my list of things that I want to do before we finish up with the cities, because I think we're going to whip the cities back into shape, but we have to. We cannot let our cities.
Democrats. He didn't literally mean whip, like the thing you do in the rodeos and things like that. He didn't literally mean that. Just FYI.
And that's a small example, but it's the most violent example. It's every night, and they've done it for years. You think maybe at some point they made their point, and what are they doing? But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland that are doing that. They're professional agitators and anarchists. They're actually anarchists. Yeah. Go ahead. Why don't you defend? Let's see you defend them, Jeff.
No, I'm not defending anyone. I just want so that we can explain this in our stories.
You don't explain it right, though, Jeff. Go ahead. Let's go. Maybe let's give you another chance. Go ahead.
Antifa, Soros. What names are we talking about?
Well, Soros is a name certainly that I keep hearing. I don't know, but Soros is a name that I hear.
Notice how he allowed the reporter to bring up the name. So later on, when these other reporters here say Trump called out Soros by name, nope, he did not. You see it on video here that he did not call him out by name. This guy called him out by name.
I hear a lot of different names. I hear.
Michael Knowles there. Did you hear about this story here? The Alvin Bragg situation. So I'm not sure she's going to show the old video here.
In the
But
streets of Harlem while conducting interviews caught on camera by my husband, leaving no doubt that the assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, was not only guilty of aggravated assault, but also exulting over her own vicious criminal act. Rivers was arrested and reportedly charged with felony assault. But after an interview with two prosecutors, I was informed that the felony had been downgraded to a misdemeanor. Despite indisputable video evidence of brutal assault and battery,
if it was done by a person with this color skin, you think they would have kept it a felony?
producing significant injury, trauma, and resulting in over $3,000 in medical bills. Over the next few weeks, the Office of the New York District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, infamous for its two-tiered system of justice that favors criminals over victims, failed to pursue the case. On July 23rd, 2025, I find out the prosecution simply allowed this misdemeanor to be dismissed on speedy trial grounds, apparently due to the prosecution's failure to file a certificate of readiness. I was never advised by the prosecution that my case had essentially been abandoned. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor assigned to handle my case isn't even admitted to the New York bar, just an inexperienced law school graduate. Yet he was able to handle my case under a student practice rule, which is supposed to apply to only very minor offenses. Prior to the dismissal, The prosecutors failed to communicate with me and with my lawyers, and the failure to communicate continued after my lawyers intervened on my behalf to try and find out how this case could be dismissed. To this day, my lawyers and I have received zero reply, despite multiple text messages, emails, and phone calls. It is inconceivable that a violent assault case such as this, one that received widespread media attention, including that shocking video, would be put into the hands of somebody not even admitted to the New York bar, who then allowed for the case to be dismissed. It is hard to avoid the conclusion that this case was deliberately sabotaged. To this day, my assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, continues to show zero remorse and make jokes about her act of violence toward me and other pro-lifers. I do not want clicks, fame, or sympathy for what happened to me. I want justice for the countless pro-life and conservative activists that go out and peacefully stand up for what they believe in, and justice for the thousands of preborn children who will be aborted today, tomorrow, and the next. No one on either side of the aisle should experience physical violence for using their First Amendment right. Shame on you, Alvin Bragg.
Boom. Mike, drop that mic. Anyway, that was somebody else there, but Savannah Craven is the name there. On her YouTube channel is Her Patriot Voice. Check her out. You'll probably see a video of her later here. See, I haven't seen what Vivek said here. Dear YouTube, did YouTube do to you, Vivek?
In the open on this particular issue. My understanding is in the last 24 hours, you locked the accounts and shut down the accounts of two guys, Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. They have big followings on the American right. I think it's better if you just unlock those accounts and let the guys be heard. And I say this not because I'm some particular fan or vice versa. At least one of them, Nick, is probably not a particularly big fan of mine. No more than Jimmy Kimmel is, by the way, for very different reasons. That's beside the point. It doesn't matter.
Free speech.
The reason I'm asking you to do it is that censorship isn't good for America. It's antithetical to our culture. And we're the country on God's green earth where we're able to talk to each other in the open. And I want to credit YouTube and Google and your parent company and so much of your competitors in Silicon Valley for creating the first instance of the free and open internet with search engines. It's a beautiful thing for democratizing speech.
Definitely.
But I think we take a step in the wrong direction when we choke those same technologies that allow us to access open debate and open ideas. It breeds discontent. It breeds frustration. It actually breeds mistrust. If you tell people they can't speak, that's when they scream. And if you tell people they can't scream, that's when they tear things down. So I think free speech is a precondition for peace. It's a precondition for the scientific method. It's a precondition for our shared unity, our shared national identity as Americans. Now, I can understand why you might think that certain types of speech or certain things that are said that are hurtful to other people or that may spread misinformation or may they count as violent or dangerous threats shouldn't be allowed on your platform. I personally take a broad view of what type of speech is an expression of an opinion that's protected, but it's a separate discussion about whether somebody says a particular thing that you think doesn't belong on your platform. That's one category of speech moderation. There's a different category of saying that you may demonetize certain people. You're not going to pay them, that even if they're able to speak on your platform, it's not necessarily their right to be paid for doing so, putting advertisers next to their name. That's a separate discussion.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's like, but you still should allow them to be on your platform to speak, even if you're not going to say that their speech, you don't want to pay them for their speech kind of thing, that you let other people get paid for their speech.
Personally, I don't like any of those forms of speech suppression as a general matter, but at least those are discussions that reasonable minds can have. There's a whole separate third category of censorship, though, that I think is particularly harmful, which is the idea that just because of who you are, your name and who you are, you don't get to express any idea, whether it's misinformation, hateful speech, whether it's dangerous or whatever you deem it to be,
Like DJT.
irrespective of that. You're not making that judgment. Just based on who you are, you don't get to speak. I think that breeds mistrust. I don't think that's good for our country. There's legal arguments to be had. I've made legal arguments elsewhere in my books, in Wall Street Journal pieces, and there are legal arguments that you could construct that say that if a tech company is protected by Section 230, that if a tech company is responding even indirectly to the threats of government officials, maybe that is actually even a legal First Amendment violation. That's not even what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is not a legal point, it's just a cultural point. It's the question of whether this is good or bad for America. And I think we live in a moment right now where when we tell people, whether it's the government or even a powerful company, when you tell people,
Come on, there's two of you guys, at least two of you guys in the chat. Put a 1 if you're a human, put a 2 if you're not human, okay? If you're not sure you're a human.
that because of who you are, you deserve not to be heard, I think that actually divides us. Even if it's done with the best of intentions, I think it brings most of the rest of the country together. In the long run, it actually throws kerosene on the very flame you were trying to quash. And so that's my ask to you. I'm not trying to do this in some type of faux indignation, angry way that escalates some political fight. That's not the goal. I actually think that it's often possible to get to the right answer through just reasonable, open dialogue. That's what I hope this is. I hope you're able to reconsider a decision that you made that may have been a wrong decision.
Okay, double checking. I'm glad
you're make a wrong decision to be able to.
You're not quite sure. What is human? That reminds me of a discussion I've been having whenever I see Effigy online. He still hasn't answered a question I've asked him 5 times, no, 6 times now. The DNA of a fetus that's inside a human woman is that DNA giraffe DNA or human DNA was my question. He could not answer it. Came up with different reasons why he can't answer that simple question. That's a gotcha question. That's a rhetorical question. It's a question, 50-50 question. You know, whether you could back it up if you want to. I'm just asking for your answer. It's crazy.
Given an off ramp to be able to say that, you know what, after thinking about it, yeah, we agree. We're persuaded that all else equal, even though we intended well, we ought to let people speak and be heard. That's what I hope happens here. And so my ask is, and again, speaking as a guy who, from Jimmy Kimmel to Nick Fuentes, probably don't like me very much. I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's not what this is about. It's not even about the content. It's about the principle. I'd ask you to restore the accounts of those guys. And believe me, it will be a down payment on beginning to reunite this country, a project on which we have yet a very long way to go. Thanks a lot for considering.
And also, YouTube, what you could do if you wanted to, I still have a community guideline thing or warning or whatever. And in your own TOS, there's a thing on there, or it says that those warnings are supposed to go away. It's still there on my YouTube studio thing. If you could sort of make it go away, follow your own sort of guidelines and make that community guideline warning go away. Just a suggestion there, YouTube. Just a suggestion. You follow your own rules. Sorry if that's asking too much. Let's see what else we got here. I think you guys are probably already read the indictment by now, so I don't want to go into the news on that one. There, like the videos better. But classified. John Solomon said classified documents were found at John Bolton's home. And was John Bolton a former president that has the power to declassify documents? No, he wasn't. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, I don't know what this was, but I wanted to play this here.
What is a woman? What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
Well,
I'm not sure I understand the question of what is a woman. Why can Democrats not give the answer that's an easy out for them, you know? It's a simple, easy out answer to give that satisfies the questioner, but also satisfies your Democrat base. Why can they not do it?
What do you want me to say? This is
I want
your definition of what a woman is.
you to say that a woman like me is an adult human female, that men can't become.
You're back, guys. Chair, guys. Thank you for watching the chair for me, guys. I appreciate you guys. I should have made the chair a little bit bigger. I might know my chair's not as fancy as some chairs you've seen out there, but it's my chair, okay? Be nice to the chair. Okay.
Women. You guys are the party of violence, and you're the party erasing women. You don't respect us. You're a bigot. You're a misogynist. You're a sexist. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
It's like she was not very happy at that time. Let's see what's going on here. What else are you guys up to today? You guys doing good? I'm going to play a song for you here. I should have done this before I went over there for a second there, but I'm going to play a song here, just an instrumental song here. So all this one is, I meant to make it a word song, but it made it into an instrumental thing for some reason or another. So you guys listen to the instrumental, I think is on, which one is the instrumental version? Not that one. It's like a 1-minute song. It's the instrumental version here. I'm trying to get used to this app they have here for these music things here. Not that one. That one's a good one. This one must be the instrumental, right? You guys hear it? If you can. Rocking out, let's go. It's almost over. Like the beat? You like the beat? It's almost done. Okay, that's good enough. Now I can delete that song just to say that I played it right. Anywho, let's check and see what this genius Democrat Congress candidate here from Michigan, Shelby Campbell is her name, evidently. And she's evidently, let's see, a representative for Americans in Congress with this kind of behavior. Let's see what kind of behavior she showed here.
How bad does it hurt? Hey, MAGA, how bad does it hurt? The Jimmy Kimmel's back, but you guys can't get your person back. Hey, MAGA, how bad does it hurt?
A representative of Congress. It's that once she's would be voted in, supposed to represent all people in her district, you know, even with her own ideology, but technically supposed to be a representative of all people in that district. Sad Democrats. Anyway, still doing good in the chat there, guys and girls. Hope you're always get a few more things done here. What was this one about? He's not a big fan of Ilhan Omar, evidently.
You know, I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that?
I heard this.
And I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back. He said, I don't want her.
JD Vance is cracking up there. Looks like even Cash Patel's like covering his mouth, like, I don't want to look like I'm enjoying this, but I am. So funny. Here's the beautiful, great people in the UK here. These very nice to people who post things that other people don't like, memes on social media. This is what happens when people post unliked memes on social media in the UK here. Very great policy here for the UK people. The American Democrats are thinking it's just a fine thing to do. And look at how they do it and everything. Usually you'd want the person there that has the biggest body structure to use that tool or the strongest muscles. And what was it about that front person there that was not descriptive of having strong muscles? You know, you see the size of the muscles here versus the size of the muscles here and probably here. And she can barely lift that thing there. And I'm not an expert on how to use that sort of tool, but I think you're getting less power when you try to use it from above like this than if you swung it from below. I think you'd get more power that way, wouldn't you? Or is she trying to break the window or something? You know, I don't know if you guys have a Home Depot over there, but they make these things. They're called crowbars. One end has a little bit of a circle around it. The other end is a straight edge with a flat thing that kind of goes in the door slot there. You put it inside the door slot and pull on the other end. It pretty much opens most any regular door. I'm not sure if they have a Home Depot over there or something like that to do that with, but four cops. They still haven't opened the door. Well, there's other people all around there. This is the UK, guys. This is how they treat people in the UK. The witness here is trying to hide his camera. You can tell. after all that time, they finally figured out, okay, let's have somebody who has a little bit more muscle use this tool here. But again, let's still use it incorrectly, in my opinion, there. Unless they think they already got the bottom hinge knocked off or something like that, and they're going after the top hinge. Rumple, how would you use that tool? What kind of behavior is this? Like King Henry behavior, like, you Americans are so bad, we're going to go after you no matter what. Oh, wow, wow. Seriously. And this is why the A-team has the police they have there. Where are you? Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Let's do a few more. Let's check and see some other news out here. You guys still doing good in chat there? Pretending to behave? He's pretending, or are you actually behaving here?
Welcome back. Breaking right now. Tonight, a major update to a story we brought to you earlier in the hour. A grand jury has just handed down an indictment for former FBI Director James Comey. The Justice Department accuses Comey of lying to Congress while under oath back in 2020. Let's bring in David Spunt with all the breaking details. David, what can you tell us?
Well, Jillian, we are waiting to get the actual details of the indictment. We're just told that an indictment has been handed up against the former FBI Director James Comey. So I don't want to speculate on the actual charges yet until I see the paper in hand. That's the only responsible thing to do. But we know that James Comey, the former FBI Director,
that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Is that something that you...
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now.
Notice how he said there, the West Bank. He didn't say parts of the West Bank he might sort of allow Israel to settle. Not saying he will, but he didn't say he wouldn't. Let's see what's going on in school board meetings these days in Dearborn mosques. They blast a call to prayer at 5 a.m. on loudspeakers in the street, which is against city regulations. Loudspeakers in the streets not good for traffic things. Or sleep, but evidently they're allowing people to get away with it here.
The mosques in East Dearborn are now at times waking us up at 5:30 in the morning with the call to prayer.
This is Dearborn resident Andrea Unger at last night's city council meeting stating that mosques using outdoor loudspeakers for their call to prayer should not be allowed, and says she believes it's not supposed to be allowed per city ordinance.
The noise complaints have been made out and the police have made numerous visits. What is the next step?
There was some question whether or not any outdoor loudspeakers are allowed, something that was not clarified, only that more evidence is being gathered. But CBS Detroit did examine
More evidence. Here's a video recording. There's a speaker. Here's what the speaker is saying. What time is it? 5 a.m. What are they paying people these days?
in Dearborn's noise ordinance and found that loudspeakers between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. are in violation of the ordinance.
But the mosques in East Dearborn are now.
Yep. Looks like it's against the ordinances there, but they don't want to do anything about that. So what you do then, Christians in the city of Dearborn here, is get a loudspeaker, put it on your own house or church at the same time or something like that, do it at like 5:01, so if they can do it at 5 o'clock, we can do it at 5:01. That's what I would do right there. put them up to the standard at that point there. Okay, if you're going to allow them to do it, we're going to do it. And if you come after us, you have to come after them. Equal treatment under the law, right? Liberal women going crazy here. How crazy is she here? Is this lunatic style?
Right to work. Take away my fucking right to have a fucking job. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. Okay? I don't care about women's suffrage, frankly, after everything else. Okay, I don't mean it like that. You guys get what I'm saying. If you're gonna take away anything, take away my right to work. I will gladly sit at home and make a fucking sandwich if it means I don't have to go outside in this public. I can't take this anymore. Can't take paint over the. How does that make sense?
A little spurgy. You think is they call that a spurg out or something like that? I don't know this Gen Z talk out there, but that looked like a bit of a spurg. Let's see. I don't threaten to. I could play that on Rumble, but I don't know if I have anybody watching on Rumble. But evidently, this person's okay with the assassination word. Crazy people. Someone just saw here. She's school board stuff here.
More importantly, a mama bear here in California that realized this agenda attacking families and attacking our children, I want to say over 6 years ago. Look, I got involved. We have
Rob Raid. What are you talking about? There's no Rob Raid EOD. You're going to have to be more specific. Oh, you mean those 33 people that just popped in to see what's going on here that are doing crazy things here? Okay, I see. That's what you're talking about at Rob Raid. I see how you are. All right, guys and girls. Now you've done it. Now you brought out the non-grifter in me. Okay, just to let you know that as you sort of stream in here, I'm not going to grift at all or whatever. You guys might have been grifted to for the past hour or something like that. I'm not going to grift at all. Okay, see, a grifter would sort of play songs and tell you where the like button is and do things like that. I'm not a grifter like some people. I'm not saying Rob's a grifter. No, I'm saying I'm just the kind of guy that likes to educate people. Okay, so I'm going to educate you on where there's buttons here. There's a button down here. I believe it's right about there. Click on it. Says a like button that goes like this, and a dislike button that goes like this. I prefer, for educational purposes, that you hit this button here, but it's up to you if you want to hit that button there. I won't feel too offended, you know. But if you do want to care about my feelings, however, then you'll hit the one that looks like this. Only if you care about my feelings. There's also a subscribe button down there. There, just to let you know, there's also a join button for membership things or something like that. Not that I'm grifting. I'm not grifting. I'm just informing you of important information. Okay. Important information here. Okay. You understand this. This is not grifting. Somebody paid me earlier, whatever, saying that I do this sort of reverse psychology thing. I don't know what this reverse psychology thing is. I only took 2 years of psychology. So I don't know what reverse psychology is. That was supposed to come into third year. So I don't know what the reverse psychology stuff you guys are talking about is. Grifter. I don't know what a grifter is, so I don't know what you're talking about there. Not a grifter. It's okay. And if there's, let's play the rest of this video here, and I'll put up a goal just to show you that I'm not a grifter here, okay?
other parents, grandparents, community members getting involved. Do not stop getting involved. Newsom's California, the Democrats California, they continue to undermine parents.
Actually, there is a goal that you guys have 2 minutes on just to show you that I'm not a grifter, okay? Bill Tifa wrote a song about me or something like that. If you want to hear it, you'll have to do a donation thing over there. If you want to hear a Bill Tifa song talking about me being a grifter, and I'll play that song for you, but you only have 1 minute and 39 seconds. Again, this is just informational purposes, just information. Not saying you have to hit that goal in the next 1 minute and 30 seconds. Not saying you have to do it, but if you want to hear a Bill Tifa song that he wrote, you'll hit that thing there, okay? In the next 1 minute and 22 seconds. I'm not repeating how much longer it is because of grifting purposes. I'm just telling you what time it is, okay? It's not a grift. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that I'm not a grifter. Put a 2 in the chat if you think I'm a grifter, okay? 1 for not a grifter. Put a 2 in the chat if you think I'm a big time grifter.
They continue to allow this gender ideology to be pushed into our school system. Our kids are failing at reading, writing, and math, and you wonder why, because special interest groups are controlling our education system. They're getting paid to confuse our kids and raise up a generation that hates America. Get involved. I'm telling you right now, wake up, California, get involved. We should not have 15-year-olds.
I'll play it here as soon as this video is over here, just because you guys learned the educational aspect of that goal thing. Okay. It was not grifting. It was educational thing that Crucible Crusader learned the most from that educational content that I gave you. Okay. So you must be a good student, Crucible.
Inboxing us, begging us for help because there's boys in their restrooms. They're being taught XYZ that has nothing to do with their future. It's time to get involved. We've already told Newsom he's a coward, just like the rest of them. We told the elected leaders.
Not a grifter, not a grifter.
They're supposed to be leaders in Sacramento. Wake up, get involved, elect people who are going to protect us here in California, who more importantly are going to protect our kids, who represent our communities. Look, let that fire burn inside you. Who cares if these people come after you? I have 15-year-olds taking bold stands that adults would never take. It's time to stand in front of these children and fight the fight for them. This next election, 2026, let's get more board members, more city council members elected that actually represent their communities. We should not have this being pushed down, and our children should not have to fight this fight. You're in this.
And I'm not just kind of delaying the song just to get you to watch this, just because I don't want to do the grift song on your behalf. I really think you guys should watch this. It's very important information here about getting involved in your school. Okay. I'm not doing the delay purposes just to kind of make it look like I'm grifting more or anything like that. It's very important. You guys need to watch this information about getting involved in your school. So I'd ask another question like, are you guys involved in your kids' schools or something like that? I'd put a 1 in the chat if you are kind of involved with your school or city politics. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to be involved in more in politics or school stuff, and a 3 if you don't care. Not that I'm grifting.
Do something about it. Give God your yes every single day. Look, get actively involved. Go to your city council meetings. Go to your school board meetings. See who these people are that are voting in these most important things that affect your family, your communities, and your schools. Once you do that, you will not back down, because you'll see what we've seen over 6 years ago. If you back down, you're a coward, obviously, but I believe in my heart the majority of California, if they knew what we knew, they would never back down. And in 2026, we don't allow them to have any more seats that don't represent the people. Enough is enough. These girls, these kids, these boys are being sent down a path of destruction and hurt. Don't not do anything. Look, I am so
good. You want to be involved. I like that. I like that. Thank you for the answer there, Chris. Thank you. It's kind of hard. Sometimes, I'm not sure if you have kids, you don't have to say it or anything like that, but it's, if you want to try to be involved, even in small ways or whatever, volunteer at your school or something like that, just kind of be involved at the smallest degree as you can,
pissed off that we have gone to,
or if you're a business or something like that, provide shirts for a little league team or something like that. I don't know.
Got it into a point in society where children are having to fight this fight. No, they do not. They should not. They should be protected by adults. Enough already. Get involved.
Drop the mic. No, not this mic. You know what I meant by drop the mic. Okay, let's see. I got to put this on a different screen here.
What's up?
Let's do a different one here. Let's put this one up here.
Dude,
well, this might be a good video. I haven't seen this one here yet. But I'm just going to put it on here just to give you something to look at instead of me. When I play this song here, that Bill Tifa, my neighbor or whatever, said that I could play here. He has a band and he did all this crazy stuff here. And he said that I could play this song for him. He doesn't really like me or something like that. He kind of tells lies about me. So here's one of these lies that he told about me recently here. Let's see if I can find the one I want here. He called it King of the Grift or something like that. So I'm not sure what that means here, but here's what it sounds like.
But it's hands folded tight, like he's praying for the poor, but his eyes scan the room for a little bit more. Whispers in the dark, coins clinking like a spark. The humble king plays his part. King of the Crypt.
Mr. Bill, I'm going to get on the phone and call him here in a second here. Ooh, where did my phone go, actually? Oh, I know. It's over charging over there. But I'm going to call him later and sort of let him know that I'm not the king of the grift nonsense. What is this? I'll keep playing it for you since some Crucible got his education.
So soft, like a hymn on the wind, but the gold in his veins betrays his sin. A throne of illusion built brick by brick. He bows to the crowd, but his heart's a trick. The bells toll deep, secrets never sleep. The walls will never keep. King of the Crypt, crown made of lies.
It makes me sound like I'm a liar when I say that I'm not grifting, and it says that I'm lying about not grifting or something like that. I'm not grifting. What kind of? You guys want to hear the rest of this song here? It sounds very wrong about my plan, evil plan. I mean my plan here. Okay.
Speaks so soft, like a hymn on the wind, but the gold in his veins betrays his sin. A throne of illusion built brick by brick. He bows to the crowd, but his heart's a trick. The bells toll deep, secrets never sleep. The walls will never keep. King of the Crypt, crown made of lies. He climbs to the top, on the backs of cries. Oh, King of the Crypt, with the fist so tight, he hides in the shadows, afraid of the light.
Okay, did you guys like that song? If you like that song, even though it was all untrue, that was a fake news song, and you know it, guys. Totally a fake news song. I do not grift. I don't know how to grift. If somebody wants to teach me how to grift, I might try to grift one of these days. But again, like I said, I don't know how to grift. Not gonna grift or anything like that. So you guys call me a grifter out here. I gotta see what you guys are chatting about in the chat here. Guides and shows. I'll give Bill Teef some credit or whatever. I think that was more about him. That he hides in shadows, but he was meaning that about me for some reason. Like I don't hide in the shadows. Bill Tifa does the hiding in the shadows, things like that. So I think that was a little self-reflection on his part there, to be honest with you, about that kind of stuff there. Crucible, very much self-reflection behavior at that point there. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and just to give you more educational information, not that you have to do this, but I appreciate you guys engaging in the chat and everything there. But there is another thing, goal thing over there, and we'll play another Bill Tifa song. He's got 2 or 3 on here or whatever that he wants me to play. Otherwise, he says he's going to TP the house or something like that. So I don't want the house to be TP'd. So please make sure my house does not get TP'd, okay? So please feel free to hit that goal over there, you know. Otherwise, him and his friends are going to come over and graffiti or TP the house. So if you guys want to help prevent that from happening, you're going to have to hit that goal there. It's if you care about my feelings, not that you have to care about my feelings, but if you care about my feelings and no graffiti on my house, you'll sort of help with that goal over there. Okay, that's enough. Here, back to the news. Let's watch this video here. No, we'll watch that one later. Here's Savannah Hernandez here. She's over in Paris, France, and then different crazy stuff is going on over in France and over the streets, kind of going crazy there, graffiti everywhere and all sorts of stuff. A certain migrant population is over there doing certain things. So check out Savannah Hernandez. It's Frontlines TPUSA. Oh, it is. They do work together. Okay, I thought it was two different entities. Here we go.
Government didn't want their migrant crisis to be so. Savannah Hernandez in Paris, France, to highlight just how bad their illegal immigration crisis has gotten. Now, I'm currently standing in front of a French bakery because, similar to the United States of America, we have several small businesses that are.
Did I do the other thing here, guys? You guys know I always have to do the other one. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a human. I think Crucible is, since he just got educated. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not sure if you're quite human yet or not. Put a 3 in the chat if you're definitely not human, if you're a bot or a robot or some unhuman thing. And if you're a 16th president vampire, there's number 7 for that over there. If Abe's in the chat somewhere. There might be some other numbers if you guys want to claim a certain number, but you have to say what you are, though. If you're not a human and you have to claim, well, number 4 and 5 and 6 are available.
Stay open due to the cultural change coming in with a lot of not only the homeless, but the immigration crisis in these various areas. Now, I guess after the 2024 Paris Olympics, the government didn't want their migrant crisis to be so apparent in the city center, so they pushed a lot of those migrants into various small neighborhoods just like this one, and hundreds of homeless migrants have been frequenting this area. I spoke to an employee who detailed for us just how bad these issues have gotten, and she talked, of course, about attacks on tourists,
They were just buddy. They're just practicing their arm wrestling. So that was
on women, rapes happening in these tunnels, and how just a couple of weeks ago, the police busted a crack factory.
okay. So that makes sense. Okay. Average Redhead says he only donates to grifters and educators. So since I'm an educator of what you're doing in there, so I'll accept that. Not the first part there. You said the grifter thing, not me, not the grifter thing. Rob, Nor, and these other guys, they're grifters or something like that. I'm not the grifting type here. Okay. Not the grifting type here. Oh, and you're a human too. You're a human too. I appreciate the Average Redhead. That's good. You know, if you want to say if you're XX or XY, you can put that in the chat also, and we'll understand what that means too. But you don't have to. But just another option. But anyway, that would be more education for you, for the rest of the people in the chat too.
That was going on in this very tunnel.
It's not possible.
Although if you're, say, a certain one of those, whatever, you might get more attention than you want, so you don't have
to work here. It's so dangerous. And now I can't to have a baker or staff because they are afraid.
At first, it used to happen like we have people, all those men who are just drug dealers and everything. Sometimes they just stand like more than 20 of them.
No, those are vitamin dealers. Okay, special vitamins out there. You're getting confused. Just because they're wrapped in a freezer bag and smashed and makes it look like it's kind of sugar inside there, and they're getting $50 or something, or 50 French bucks, whatever, for it, does not mean that it's drugs or something illicit like that. It's just vitamins homemade vitamins. Okay. You got to get these people think that they're dealing drugs in the streets. You know, it's homemade vitamins. They're good for you, supposedly.
And they are fighting with knives, bottles. They aggress people. They steal chains and everything. Sometimes, even you can hear women inside the tunnel.
They're practicing their boxing skills. So they want to get in the UFC. That's what they're doing. They're practicing their skills there. That's all that is. Practice. Volunteer to get in the UFC, so they got to kind of gain a white to do that. Okay, again, let's see. So I only have one human in the chat. That's weird. I mean, a lot of you guys are probably listening or pretending to watch or something like that, and you're not nearby a keyboard. I understand that, but if you are near a keyboard and you want to keep me entertained by putting numbers in the chat or whatever, you can put another number about. Well, actually, let me see what your number says about the thing up here. I had 18 votes that says, am I grifting if I ask you to hit the like button? No. Okay, that's good. See, you guys understand those 67% of the people there, they understand that I'm not grifting when I simply let you know where the like button is. So good. Because only 33% of you or whatever think that I'm kind of a grifting person. Good. That's better than I thought.
they have been raped, and you are here in the bakery, you can hear them screaming, but there's nothing you can do because if you just enter through there, something can happen. So there have been sometimes they even.
It's a, I'm not sure what kind of dance that was. Some sort of a crazy Middle Eastern dance. I don't know what the kind of dances they do in the Middle East or something like that, but I think that's where they do their Middle East type dance over there. Sure, it's they're probably very good at it. They probably want to, since they're out in the streets or whatever, they're probably just dancing and everything, hoping people sort of donate to their dance moves out there.
Come out, there's blood on your hand. Like, what happened? Like,
See, they're the grifters. They want people to donate to help their dance moves get better. See, I'm not grifting in that respect. I'm just educating you on where the like button might be or something like that. I'm not sort of doing any dance moves or anything like that. Although in case in the near future you might see a goal, say a certain amount of super chats to see me dance. That's just to help me become a better dancer. That's not grifting, okay? But there's a like button, there's a subscribe button, there's a join button for memberships. I think it's over here somewhere. Educational purposes only.
with all that, people are scared to pass around. Even our neighbors, they're just scared. They prefer to take another road. At a certain time, you cannot come back home because they are there. So the sales are just reducing. Like this year, we have like 24% of the sales that reduce and all that. Yeah. So no people are coming because they are scared.
Now,
why would they be scared of people that came thousands of miles away just to live in a certain country and stay when they could have stopped at other countries along the way and things like that, you know? But anyway, there's a good question here that this person asked here. Some of us, like that live on the West Coast, like me, it's still kind of early, you know, it's 11:30 or something like that here. So if you guys want to say, if you're on the West Coast, put a 1 in the chat, put a 2 in the chat if you're Mountain Time, 3 in the chat Central Time, 4 in the chat Eastern Time, 5 in the chat some other time, okay? 1 for Pacific Time. And there was a guy earlier or whatever that was from Hawaii or whatever. If you're from Hawaii, put a 0 in the chat, put a 0 in the chat. 4, that was Eastern Time, so that makes sense. No, the button guy, I thought he was asking us why we're up so late, so. No, it's 3. That means you're in Central Time. That means you're the Chicago time or whatever they call it. So, yeah, you might be a commie or whatever if you're from Chicago.
Sylvie, the owner, also spoke to us about how she has been threatened with death, how this area has changed so significantly, how it was her dream to open this bakery, and this used to be a very safe area.
And here, I realize my dream, but it's not a dream. It's a cauchemar.
Now, Sylvie was telling me that the French
I'm not sure what her word there was, probably nightmare. I don't know.
government is very unhappy with her after she's been vocal about this story, and it was only after local media came and made a big issue out of this that police came and started cleaning up the area. So I wanted to highlight for you guys what's going on not only in the United States of America but also abroad. This story reminds me of Palmer's Bar in Minneapolis. I just reported on this. It was a bar,
Iconic Minneapolis dive bars, which is all in that same area of the country that you're at. I think they're at Central Time. Are sold to mosque after 119 years of business. The Cedar Riverside Bar will shut its doors in September. The building has reportedly been purchased by a mosque.
that has been open for over 100 years, and they are set to shut down because of the cultural and demographic change happening in Minneapolis. We are now seeing the exact same.
Not a whole lot of Muslims drink beer, I guess. I'm not a Muslim, so I'm not sure what they drink, but definitely not too much beer.
Thing happened here in Paris and all over various parts of Europe. So a little example of just how out of control the drug crisis is getting over here, the migrant crisis is getting, and how it isn't until the local media comes and makes these stories an issue that the government acts and that the police actually come and help these types of bakeries and small businesses out. Oh, and by the way, the owner of this business was telling me that oftentimes people will hide drugs in these bushes and they will just watch all day as people come and drop drugs and then someone comes and picks them up.
These are vitamins. Yeah, this is kind of a thing in there so that kids can kind of reach it, you know, get vitamins or something like that. They just have a designated spot to put vitamins. It's sort of like a a mail drop, for vitamins. That's all it is. It's not for anything bad. Of course not.
Sylvie was telling me this was never an issue before, but over the last year, it's gotten really bad.
That was Savannah Hernandez from Frontlines TV USA. Good follow on Twitter. There we go. Make bigger. There I am. But what I was going to say is, he said about Seattle and other places that are hosting the World Cup. He kind of gave them a hint, like, you better clean up Seattle and everything. I don't think we're going to go in there. I think you're going to kind of learn your lesson and sort of clean up your city before the World Cup shows up and you kind of get embarrassed. He didn't say those exact words, but I think that was his intent. Like, we cleaned up Washington, D.C. because we want to clean it up here. So if you don't clean up Seattle when people want to show up there from out of country, it could be bad for you. Seattle does not like to clean itself up. Not even a Chaz or Chop zone. Anyway, let's check and see what else is going on. But again, I'm not grifting here, guys. Not going to grift, not going to do it. You guys keep thinking I'm grifting. I'm just informing you that over there's a 1 out of the 5 things over there, or whatever. If you want to hear another Bill Tifa song, I'll just let you know what it was about. If I remember what he was telling me earlier. What was it about, Bill Tifa? Oh, no, not that one. There was a different one, not the Riot Real. I wrote that song. Something about me not being nice or pretending to be a nice guy or something like that. So I think it's something edgy about me being a fake nice guy or something like that. So if you guys don't hear the song about me being fake or something like that, then you'll hit more of those donations or something like that. And he said it's okay if you. Okay. Did I just see another donation or something like that? Did I miss one? Okay, no, I didn't see it. Another one. That was just the other one. Okay. Okay, I just want to hear a song about me being a fake nice guy. Then you got to get that donation thing up there. You don't. It doesn't have to be 4 2s. If it just adds up to be about $10 or whatever, Bill Tifa said he won't attack my house tomorrow. Okay, so if you guys want to help me out, so I don't get graffitied and TP'd or whatever, you can help me out there by make sure you get that donation. What's going on over there? Yeah, there's some night owls over here. Yeah, definitely. Jay, what's going on? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And just in case that you see some new chat kind of people or whatever, people say that I'm a grifter. I'm not a grifter. I'm just informing the new people. Like button's down there. Subscribe button is down there. Okay. Just informing you. Okay. Not having to do it. You don't have to do it. I will check at the end of the night to see if my subscriber count went up. If you want me to sort of be happy or whatever, when I see the subscriber count go up, then you'll hit the subscribe button. If you don't care how I feel whatsoever, then you won't hit the subscribe button. Simple as that. So if you're an empathetic person, you'll hit the subscribe button. If you're not an empathetic person, you won't hit the subscribe button. Okay? That's pretty simple to understand. Anyway, let's see what the next story is. That's not trying to make you feel guilty. That's just giving you education. What was going on with this thing here? Some white lady cries about her whiteness as she gets put in chains at an exhibit at an African American museum in Kentucky. Interesting.
Welcome to America.
An African American museum. A lot about African culture in the background there. And trying to represent the fact that certain people had chains put on them when they got here. Yes, we realized that we had it. She probably was in 5th or 7th grade when she learned what happened to a group of people and everything. And she probably felt very bad that her history had that situation long ago. And that she knows that nothing like that should be repeated. She probably realized this kind of 40 years ago or something like that in her case here. You think she probably already learned this lesson? Do you think she really needs the hands-on lesson here to understand that?
Tell me what you're thinking.
Just so much.
Kleenexes, please.
I've always been.
Oh, nice to see you too. You're over there. Now I think I know who you are over there. Yeah. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Feel free to share it out with other people that we might both know. Anyway, yes, I used to be on Facebook quite a bit. I had 12,000 people watching me back when you probably met me originally. But anyway, yeah, back when before censorship was a big thing on certain platforms. Not that YouTube would ever censor or anything like that. No, they would never censor anybody.
Interested in history and the history of Black people. I took Afrocentric classes at U of L. My grandma lived at 2821 West Kentucky Street. I've read so many books, and now I belong to a church that's primarily African American, and I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Beautiful. Thank you.
She had to read a whole bunch of books to understand the Black experience in America and from history. She went to that much school reading and everything. Just, I don't think she's putting that to work or anything like that, but that's interesting. We're getting through this. Little by little. You guys still in the chat there? You guys want to hear another song? There's a 30-second free song here for you. Here, free tune here, just to chill out here for a second. Let's check and see what this guy's up to. Everybody kind of likes this guy. 7 seconds here. Some cops like donuts, but I don't get down with ice. He gets down with ice cream.
Take the edge off this summer heat.
Did you guys see that thing the other day when he was at the memorial service and Madison Hawthorne, or whatever, the guy in the wheelchair, his shoes were untied or whatever, and what's his name, DJ, got on his knees and everything, tied his shoes and everything on his own. You know, nobody else would do that, and this guy has cancer he's got to deal with, and he's blessing other people like that. That was sad to see. Not sad, but interesting. Free music. Yeah, you didn't like the free music? Rob, you see, Rob doesn't do the free music here. You know, Rob's a grifter type and everything. It spends like 3-4 hours grifting or whatever at the end of the night. You know, I'm not a grifter type. I give you the free music once in a while, and then I give you the educational music and the music, or if you want me to play it or something like that, it'll stop Bill Tifa from graffitiing my house, because he wrote it or whatever and sent it to me and everything, and said if I don't play it on the screen that he's watching, then someone graffiti the house. So you guys don't want to see my house get graffitied or toilet paper tomorrow. It might rain tomorrow too. So if you guys care about me or anything like that, then you'll make sure that you hit that donation thing. You don't have to, but that's just, if you're an empathetic person, then you'll sort of do the donation thing if you have the funds to do so. Not a grifter, not gonna do it. Okay, what else we got here in the news here? Oh, this is, you guys probably saw this meeting here at the beginning here. Let's see what this 1 minute clip is about here.
No problem. Responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country.
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem.
And by Trump pointing out that the radical left is causing the problem, as you literally know the problems out there right now, right? What little kind of pew-pewings and things like that have happened in the past few weeks, you know? By him pointing that out, that is bad rhetoric in the leftist eyes. Him simply pointing out them saying bad things and how they feel about Charlie Kirk and okay with him disappearing, that kind of stuff. By him pointing those things out, that is evil rhetoric. There's lefty streamers you guys probably know that sort of say that is evil rhetoric. He shouldn't say those kinds of things. But that same kind of person will say nothing wrong with what the left is doing. The left is just simply saying that they don't agree with Trump and his policies, and Charlie said offensive words to them, that's all that he thinks the left is doing. Anyway, sorry.
They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem.
Are you? You must be that buddy of Bill Tifa's over there. Is that what's going on there? Are you the buddy of Bill Tifa's that's threatened to sort of TP my house? He said there's some guy that was going to TP it in a different way than normal or something like that. So you must be the person that's going to sort of do the TPing thing in a new, unique way or whatever. So, back in my younger days, not that I ever did anything like that in my younger days, because I'm a good guy and everything. I would never sort of TP anybody's house in high school or junior high or anything like that. Never going to happen. But if I was to do it or whatever, I would sort of do it when it was be a little bit dewy outside, put it in the trees and everything, not so close to the house, the parents, might wake up or something like that. I'm just educational purposes here and things like that. So that's how a normal TPer would probably do it if they did it, but I would not do such a thing. I was the good guy. Taco Bell helped you do it? Okay.
Not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left.
And again, what he just said, they're saying the right is a lot tougher than the left. The guys out there like Radical Coder, you know who I'm talking about, and other lefties out there will say that is inflaming tensions, saying that the right is tougher, is that inflaming tensions. I gotta move that over there. Is that inflaming tensions, stating his opinion about the right being tougher, which is probably true, but it's still his opinion. Doesn't mean that they're going to do anything. It just means they're tougher.
But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem, and it gets worse.
Oh, but he just called all Democrats radical, right? Is that what he just did? That's what people like Ryan might say, that he just called all Democrats radical. No, he said radical left Democrats. In other words, the 10-20% on the fringe of the Democrats. Yes, those people. I might say 30%.
Worse. It gets worse. And it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left. And we don't want that.
Radical is a cool word. Just, I don't like it applied to me because I'm not a radical person at all. I'm a very calm, rational person. I don't do anything radical, whatsoever. I don't hang. Back in the day, I didn't hang out with what some people would call bad boys or whatever, or proud boys. No, I would never do anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Man, they really want to get their 2 cents in there, don't they? Rory McIlroy, I didn't hear this yet. I just want it ready here. We'll see what he thinks about the greatest country in the world here. Are you guys going to watch the Ryder Cup tomorrow? I guess Trump's going to go watch the Ryder Cup tomorrow.
You can be or do whatever. Everyone wanted to make it in America. It's the land of opportunity. I still believe it's the greatest country in the world. And if you come here and you work hard and you dedicate.
Is Rory going to get kicked out of Ireland for saying that? It's like, they have like hate speech laws in Ireland. To have your hero of Ireland, I'm pretty sure Ireland, just say that Ireland is not the greatest country in the world and America is he going to get a little bit of trouble for that?
Dedicate yourself. You can be or do whatever you want. I am unbelievably grateful and lucky that I got to come to America early on.
I do that sometimes too, JK9. And sometimes you go back and you come back and you forget for some reason, some YouTube channels, I did it the other day too, is it paused itself or when you come back and everything, it looks like it's resumed from the same place you left it off, but it actually paused. So you have to hit the live button on the thing there to make sure that it kind of gets back to live, so that usually fixes the problem. Just to make sure you click that live thing on the desktop or whatever. I think it's on the phone too.
And I think success is celebrated here. I think there's a wonderful sense of work ethic.
True.
And yeah, as you know, I live here. My wife is American. My daughter is American. I have a lot of affinity towards this country, and I think everyone that lives here should have that same affinity because it's a wonderful place.
And again, it's a very wonderful place, and it's a very educational place too, guys. Very educational. And I'm just going to educate you that you guys have hit 1 out of the 5 of the Super Chat goals to help, play the Bill Tifa song here. If you guys want to hear that Bill Tifa song, you can do that. There's two purposes out there. So you can either do it for me to not get attacked by Bill Tifa, or if you just want to hear Bill Tifa's ability to make songs or whatever about me, supposedly not being a nice guy, being a fake nice guy or something like that. I'm not sure what the song is about exactly, but if you did want to do that, then you would hit the donation link and put a $2 thing in there or whatever. But you don't have to. You don't have to be empathetic. You don't have to want to hear music. You can just keep watching the show here. Thank you. Not being a grifter, just informing you of information. Okay. So I don't want to hear this grifter stuff. Okay. Let me see if you guys still change the poll information there. The poll still says 68% say I'm not a grifter. Okay, good. Had to double check that. Oh, redhead there. Okay. Oh, okay. Average redhead, just for you, since you sort of helped out quite a bit tonight. If you're still in the chat, we'll play the song for you. Okay. Let me know if you put a 1 if you're still in the chat, redhead. And I'll play this song here if I can find the right one here. I'll break the rules or whatever just to get Bill Tifa off my case here. And hopefully I find the right song for you here. Mr. Bill. I think that's not the right one. It's King of the Griff. We already did that one. I think this is the right one. I might have to double check. Let's see what this one sounds like. I gotta hit that button there.
Mr. Bill tells a story with a poker face, cracks a joke, but it's laced with a heavy trace.
What?
Something deeper than the smile he wears, a mask so thick you forget he's there.
What kind of? What kind of? Where'd this song come from? This is fake news song. Fake news song. Bill Tifa. Doggone it! If I had.
He acts like sunshine when he's drowning in rain, covers up joy with a coat of pain. When he's happy, you swear he's about to break. When he's breaking, he dances like it's fake. Oh, Mr. Bill, what's the deal? You cards are close, but we all can feel.
Everyone.
Mr. Bill's a riddle, he's a walking twist.
It's calling me fake. This song is fake news. I'm not the fake one. This song is a fake one. But since you donated or whatever, we'll finish the song there. But see how nice I am? I'm playing the song and only 2/5 of the amount of money or whatever showed up there. So I'm going to have to make up the rest of it to pay Bill Tifa just to play the song that's mean about it's telling lies about me. See how nice I am? I'm going to have to pay the other $6 just to play this song that's telling lies about me. This is not nice. Here you go.
I've seen the shadows rise in the mist. You flip
If you're in Oregon, guys, yeah, I saw this thing there. Thanks, Jay, for the heads up on that one. There's another thing in Oregon sometime, but I know this is probably the bigger thing. But feel free to show up to that there. Bill Tifa might show up to that one too. I'm not sure if he's going to show up to that one there to kind of disrupt things, but that would be another reason I would go there, because I grift off of, evidently I grift off of sort of getting content, and content is Bill Tifa, things like that. So that's probably the only reason that I would go there to film that event about cracking down on government corruption and waste, things like that, right? That's probably the only reason I would go there, is just to see the potential for Antifa to show up there. Yeah, that's what all you guys think that I show up there for. Huh? Just kidding. Well, you guys want to hear the rest of that song? Okay, I see how you are. It has a nice tune to it.
Is he the Joker? Is he the king? Or just a man with a tangled string? His heart's a stage, his life's a play. The curtain drops and he's okay.
What? That means I'm fake. It makes it sound like I'm just doing this kind of just because I'm on a stream and I'm do the fake stuff or fake emotions or something like that, or pretend like it. That Bill Tifa, you're gonna get it.
Mr. Bill's a riddle, he's a walking twist. Laughs in the shadows, cries in the mist. He flips the world like a spinning coin. Heads or tails, you're never in the joint. And Mr. Bill's a riddle, he's a walking twist. Laughs in the shadows, cries in the mist. He flips the world like a spinning coin. Heads or tails, you're never in the joint. Is he the Joker? Is he the king? Or just a man with a tangled string? His heart's a stage, his life's a play. The curtain drops and he's okay.
Okay, that's a fake news song. Fake news song. That song won't get played again unless there's a whole lot of money. I mean, not that I'm grifting, I'm just saying that song shouldn't be played again on this channel unless I was very well incentivized somehow or another to do such a thing. Okay, not that I'm grifting. Okay, back to the news here. Okay, back to the news. Sorry about that. This other fake news that you were watching is fake news. Let's go back to the real news here, okay? Yes, the USA is awesome, Rory. Thank you. So what else we got here going on here? Oscar winner's ex-wife tears up royal honor over Trump's UK visit. Cowardly display of appeasing.
So I have an MBE.
Colin Firth. Who is Colin Firth? Anybody know who Colin Firth is? No problem, Average Redhead. You guys are going to sleep on out there. Do we have any people from Europe? Put a 1 in the chat if you're from Europe or somewhere outside of America. Put a 2 in the chat if you're from the States.
And I accepted it in 2019 for my services to sustainable fashion. And I accepted it then on behalf of all the garment workers and the people that I met in the global supply chains all over the world. Today, in 2020, I cannot reconcile this being part of the British Empire, particularly in light of what happened last week. So I'm returning it. This is my certificate to accept it.
Imagine that, saying you did good for sustainable whatever or something like that, and you're not proud that your government gave you that because your government honored the leader of the free world. Goodness gracious. What is wrong with the UK? I mean, we already saw something wrong with it when they're against free speech or their own citizens that hurt their feelings here. I'd be curious here on this one. Could the law also be like, okay, There's people in government that are hurt by what you did here. It hurt their feelings that you ripped up something that you they gave you or whatever, that you don't seem to care about sustainable farming anymore. So they want you arrested because it hurt their feelings. How would you feel about that, Miss UK person? Seriously. Starmer to require all UK adults to own government-issued digital IDs, allegedly to stop the boats. Interesting.
Working. Let's bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally here in the UK. But Sky News understands that we will have an announcement, could be as soon as tomorrow, from the Prime Minister on these mandatory ID card, an ID card system, the Brit card.
What do you guys think about ID cards? Digital ID cards, you know? Do you trust a liberal government like the UK to give their citizens a digital ID card? They're saying the purpose is to sort of prevent the boats or something like that, you know? Pretty easy to prevent the boats, just have a Coast Guard there. It's probably one of the busiest channels in the world right there, right? But, you know, evidently that's too hard to do or whatever. So yeah, if you're a citizen or whatever, you'll have a digital ID. If you're not a citizen, you won't, and then we'll know who you are. But what else could the government know if you had a digital ID out there? What other things could they sort of do in sort of security and privacy related areas? Interesting to think about.
And essentially what this will mean, it will be mandatory for all adults here in the UK. It will make it easier for employers and for landlords to make sure that those they are employing or renting or to actually...
Yeah, I saw the videos there. Yeah, I think I played them yesterday on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, Jay. But yes, Katie Davis Court had videos of one or two of those arrests anyway. Good lady. Make sure you follow her Twitter. You probably already do. What was I going to say? But yeah, 3 people got arrested. She pointed out one person that looked familiar from back in the day. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, 3 arrests there. Hopefully under federal charges, but I'm not sure. Based on what these liberal cities and everything that are out there, I'm not sure. I assume Eugene is a Democrat mayor in it. But what was I going to say? Yeah, Alvin Bragg allowed somebody who's punched a lady on camera, both of them African American, but one African American pro-choicer punched the other pro-lifer, and on camera went from a felony to a misdemeanor, and then charges dismissed. Interesting, right?
Have the right legal immigration status here in the UK. They can do it using a smartphone app. It's also, according to the government, going to make it easier for people here in the UK to essentially prove their status or their ability to kind of qualify.
Yeah. Says I've got 45 people watching me, so let's do this thing again here. I know Jay's a human, Redhead's a human if he's going to stay in here, a few others verified humans, but let's see, double check and see if the other 44 people are humans or robots. 1 in the chat if you're a human, 2 in the chat if you're a robot or something else, okay?
To be able to work here in the UK. And essentially, this is all about immigration. This is all about trying to tackle small boats crossings. We've had a lot of conversation about small boats and about other European countries, especially the French, who have been concerned with the kind of pull factors here in the UK in terms of being able to work in the black market, being able to work illegally here in the UK. We already know that France has an ID card system. They've had it for many years. And it's something that the UK is...
I assume so, Jay. I assume so. I just double check, make sure there's everybody else that put a 1 in the chat. Since they're a human and they probably have a working finger with a mouse next to it, that they could, not that I'm grifting, I'm just saying it's physically possible for you to, now that we've identified that there's humans in the chat, like people like this that are probably already subscribed, but just to verify your identity as a human, you can make sure that there's and it'll also help my feelings when I look at my subscriber count later, if I care about my feelings. Use that mouse button and click that subscribe button down there. If you mistakenly hit the join button, I think it's over here somewhere. You can hit that one there. There's a little bit of a donation thing next to that one. You don't have to, but there's, if you mistakenly hit it, you can follow through on that one there if you wanted to. You don't have to. But anyway, that's enough information for now. But at least we verified you're a human, though. We have 2 more humans in the chat. Hey, there's another person that's an Oregon person, if I recall there. K9, you probably know this person here. You may or may not, but I know that person knows me. Oh, is that Dog? Are you the? I can never remember people's names when I see them out there. Are you the other person that was in Wilsonville by chance filming and we saw that flag thing together? If you're not that person, I apologize, but are you the person I'm thinking of? You don't have to say your name, just say that was me.
Always resisted, partly because of questions around civil liberties and freedoms, but also because many governments in previous times said they didn't think it was the best approach. Now, clearly, Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits of a digital ID card system and has been persuaded that this might have a significant impact on small boats crossings. The question really, and this is always going to be the million-dollar question, is once this comes into play and once it is enforced, how much of an impact could it have on small boats crossings? And if it has a really significant impact on small boats crossings, and it really kind of starts to eradicate that pull factor for illegal migrants coming to the UK.
The pull factor. Oh, really? Maybe so. Maybe so. Here's an idea to stop the small boats from coming over. Say, boats, if you don't have a certain license on your boat or something like that, you will not be allowed to port in the country. That would be a pretty simple way to sort of make sure that certain boats are not allowed to pop in there. This is an easy solution there. I'm sorry if that made sense to the UK people. Let's see what else we got going on here. But that's enough UK stuff. Let's get back to American stuff here. Who do you? We just played that one there, so we don't need to do that one twice. Tim Allen has some interesting words here. This is what Tim Allen said here. I'm going to make that bigger if I can there. When Erica Kirk spoke the words on the man who disappeared her husband, that young man, I forgive him. Remember, that was deep. That moment deeply affected me. I have struggled for over 60 years to forgive the man who eliminated his dad. I will say those words now as I type. I forgive the man who disappeared my father. Peace be with you all. Tim Allen's awesome. If you guys watch that new Tim Allen show, I haven't seen any of it yet, but I liked his other 2 shows that were out there. And Buzz Lightyear. He was getting a Buzz Lightyear thing. Let's see what else we got here. Trying to see how much more do I have to do here. Quite a bit here. Okay, we're going to zoom through news here in one day. The Angry Oregonian channel. Check out the Angry Oregonian channel, guys. Check out the Angry Oregonian channel. In fact, let me do this here. If there's anybody still watching there, there's all just kind of robots there, but the Angry, or is it one word? Probably. You said YouTube, right? I should just look up on YouTube. You guys need more music again, don't you? That was a cool song. But anyway, you got to keep you guys updated with that kind of stuff there. And let's put this in the chat here. Hopefully you guys are behaving yourselves. Paste there. Hopefully. Let me know if that's the right channel. I assume it is there. But click on that channel there if you guys don't mind. If you want to know what's going on in Oregon and seeing different rallies that he goes to. Things like that. We usually end up the same place once in a while. There you go. Is that the one? I think it was the same picture I saw there. Yeah, it has that little Oregon little smiley face thing. It looks like that. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's you on the screen there. Yep. There you go. Check that out there. Give it over 30 subscribers there. Help them out there. All right, let's keep going here. You guys are falling asleep on me, aren't you? I did that one. Might finish off with that one if I get these other ones done here. Oh, wait a second. Back to this. Back to the bookmarks. Back to the bookmarks. Slow computers. Sorry. Christy Nome talked about this situation.
Etching things into shell casings and then firing them into buildings for fun. Nobody does that for fun. People do that are evil, that want to destroy other people's lives, and that want to make a statement. And those people feel like they get cover when you have leaders in this country going out there and defending those types of actions, which is exactly.
I was kind of curious what the guy's vantage point was. It said it was from a neighboring building, and he was just kind of shooting into a building, is what Nome seemed to say there. But it somehow went into an ICE vehicle or whatever and hit detainees. Was the person under the mistaken impression that there were no detainees at the ICE facility? I think that it's just ICE officers that kind of go out to grab people, and then when they bring them back, they don't bring anybody back or something like that. Is that the mentality of some of these people? I think it might be.
What these congressmen, what these senators have done, what these governors have done, what Gavin Newsom and Tim Walz have done by saying and calling names at our law enforcement officers who are just doing their job and trying to protect their communities. Everybody needs to remember these officers live in these communities too. They live there. Their families are there. They want to make sure that their kids can go to school and that their families can go grocery shopping and go to their jobs and be safe. So overwhelmingly, the American people is with our law enforcement. What I would tell the American people is send a strong message. Sign up. Go to join.ice.gov and sign up, and we will put you to work helping keep the backs and have the backs of these individuals who are so wonderful.
It is kind of fishy or whatever with the etchings on the casings at that point there. You know, if I'm a conspiracy theorist from the left or whatever, I'd say, no, it's ICE and the government that's put it on those cases and say that it was the guy that the pew pew person. But knowing what I know about Antifa and people's behavior like that, they like to get credit for what they do, you know, or sort of advertise why they do things, you know, they'll tell you to your face, you know, that all this stuff here. So based on that kind of behavior that I know about some of these leftists out there, I'll say it's not far-fetched. They would sort of put that on the casings, especially if it's a copycat type thing, you know, in my opinion. Let's see what we're doing here. Is it getting too late to be up? It's only 12:20-ish. Okay. Stephen Miller. You guys like Stephen Miller? 26 seconds. Okay, that's good.
They will not fund law enforcement. They will not fund the military. They will not fund public safety. They will not fund the operations of the federal government that your tax dollars pay for, unless they get free health care for illegal aliens. That is the biggest losing message and the biggest losing argument in American history. We will see if there's enough Democrat senators who are dumb enough to follow Chuck Schumer off the edge of that cliff. Well, the Democrats are demanding free health care for illegal aliens. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have been clear. They will not fund law enforcement. They will not fund the military. They will.
This is crazy. If they're going to let the government shut down, so some of us don't care if it shuts down or whatever. You know, Trump still wants to keep it going, but he better not sort of cow down to some of their demands of putting more money into these pet projects of the Democrats. Later soon here.
The government will shut down. President Trump canceled a planned meeting with Democratic leaders, and CNN is reporting that he made that decision after speaking with you and House Speaker Mike Johnson. Did you encourage the president to cancel his meeting with Democrats?
Well, I think the president, I can't speak for the president. President draws his own conclusions, but what I would suggest, and I think the president came to the conclusion that it wouldn't be a productive meeting. The Democrats' requests are completely unhinged and unreasonable. And
You 1 out of 10 times status you behave. So hopefully this will be the one out of the 10 times you behave. So hopefully, I'm glad you hit the like button. So that's a good start on your potential good behavior. So the other 9 times you don't behave too much. So we're hoping this is the one time you do.
Unserious. And if they want to have a serious conversation, I think that, I'm sure the president will be welcome.
Yeah. When Schumer says, and Jeffrey says that, yeah, we're not going to back down, we're going to make sure that the American people get, or the immigrants get health care and things like that, illegal immigrants, or else, of course, Trump's not going to show up to a meeting like that,
Would be happy to do that. But at least right now, what they're asking for to keep the government open for 7 weeks is over $1 trillion in new spending and all kinds of policy riders that never go on continuing resolutions. Continuing resolution is something that when the Democrats had the majority and Joe Biden was in the White House, they passed 13 times, and Republicans worked with them to deliver the votes. Those are clean spending, continuing resolutions to fund the government for a foreseeable time in order to allow something else to happen. And in this case, we're trying to do this to allow the normal appropriations process to get underway.
Clean CR just to get it through, but will the Democrats kind of go along with it? No.
So that we can pass bills the old-fashioned way, which is through the Appropriations Committee on the floor in the Senate, where every senator has an opportunity to make their voices heard. So this is a short-term extension of existing funding, current funding. The Democrats are trying to hijack it to get $1 trillion in new spending. And I don't think that's a very good deal for the American taxpayer. And it appears, at least at this point, the president's come to the same conclusion.
Where would a lot of that money go? To the NGOs.
I want to get to one of the specifics in what the Democrats want in a second, but I understand the president is going to make his own decision. But I just want to confirm, you did urge the president not to have this meeting?
I spoke with the president, and I offer, as I often do, my opinions, but I generally don't share those publicly. And as
Nobody tells Trump what to do. Do you not understand this? He can give his sort of advice of what the Democrats' behavior, since he talks to them more than the Trump probably does, and then the Trump will go from there. You do know that he was president for 4 years, and you probably ask him questions to find out what Trump is like, and you still ask repeated stupid questions. What is wrong with the fake news? Just like that fake song that Bill Tifa wrote about me. Very, very fake and unfair. DJ Daniel was at a New York Yankees game at Yankee Stadium. Interesting. That's I'm guessing sort of a Make-A-Wish thing or whatever. One of the guys there, but it's sad. Deputy Mayor, Public Safety. Even the New York City Police Department or Public Safety made him a deputy. That's cool. Let's see what else we got here. You guys still chatting in the chat there? Yeah. Indirectly, that's okay. Tosho, this is.
The superintendent can disregard the orders of the president, the governor, and this board, then in practice, he answers to nobody. Our household.
Oh, this was about the half staff at Kent School District or whatever. Is there a government institution? They were not putting up the flag at half staff through the Sunday or whatever it was and everything. So the people there were not very happy about that.
The spam last night via a cell phone text message encouraging people to attend tonight's meeting to honor the aforementioned right-wing political activists. The spam text came from a person running for Kent Council, apparently not knowing it's a nonpartisan position. And her signs were outside tonight, I think illegally. I understand and admire.
Are you talking about the flag or are we talking about signs?
Not lowering school flags. Thank you again, and I am sorry you received threats from right-wing folks.
Right-wing votes. There's
If you would like to see the spam text, I brought several times. Thank you.
Stay on topic. Aren't you supposed to be respecting the decorum?
Are you supposed to be quiet?
That wasn't about the flag, that was about text messages and signs.
The rules.
They should follow the rules.
Encourage those who are to step outside.
I didn't interrupt her.
Our next speaker is Carrie French.
the cops like, don't escalate things, please. Yeah, you must be a Antifa adjacent there. Yeah, you're troublemaker there with the hot pocket things going on there. Sounds like something that they would do. Ivermectin, I'm not sure about YouTube on that stuff right now. So, then did she get to come up and rebut with that?
Well, thank you everyone for having me tonight. My name is Ruth Ruwal. I am here to talk about something that's weighing heavy on a lot of hearts here in Kent. Recently, the school district chose not to lower the flags in honor of Charlie Kirk or victims of political violence. And what upset people the most wasn't just the act itself. It's the fact that this decision ignored orders from both a Republican president and a Democrat governor. This wasn't a partisan issue. It was about basic respect. And it wasn't a decision made together. Our superintendent made this call without input from his staff, without input from the school board, and without input from the families he's supposed to serve. That's radical leadership. One person imposing their will on an entire community. And that's not representative
Sounds like dictator-ish behavior to me.
of democracy. Democracy means listening, it means consensus, and it means accountability. The truth is, this is an 80-20 issue. The vast majority of people, regardless of their politics, no matter what they believe that when our country calls for respect, we show it. Lowering a flag isn't about who you voted for. It's a cultural act. It's how we honor loss and how we show compassion and how we teach our kids that every life has value. When we say a life shouldn't be honored just because we didn't agree with someone, we diminish the value of life itself. That's a slippery slope. That's a vigilante mindset. You don't have to like Charlie Kirk and you don't even have to agree with him, but he was a victim of political violence. And that's the broader issue here. Political violence should not be excused or ignored. We can't start picking and choosing what lives that deserve respect and which do not. A life is a life. And respect, especially in our schools, should never be conditional. At the end of the day, this isn't just about flags. It's about what kind of community we are. Do we honor loss and stand together, or do we let division dictate our compassion? Our schools should be a place where dignity and fairness are modeled, where our children learn not just math and reading, but also how to respect others, even when we disagree. And I wanted us to think about that. What are we teaching our kids when we refuse to honor certain lives? What example are we setting for the next generation when politics matter more than our compassion? I'm not going to be bullied into silence on this. Respect for life, respect for our community, and respect for our children's future are too important to ignore. I believe Kent's better than this. I believe we can rise above the division. Let's protect the values that unite us. And there's enough talking about what was done was wrong or right and things like that. I want to know what we're going to do to rectify this situation. I stand here in front of you guys on behalf of people in the community that I've talked to, our neighbors, our friends, people in Kent School District, parents, and people that attend the school. And I ask you, what are you going to do about this? How are we going to come to a compromise? How are we going to come to a solution? And how are we going to remove the divisive issues and come to a resolution and see eye to eye? Because I don't want to sit here and just vent and rant. I want to come to a solution on behalf of our community. And so I want to come to that solution. I ask you guys today, what are we going to do about this? I won't be bullied into silence. I believe Kent's better than this. Let's make sure we come together. Thank you.
Not many claps out there for what she said there. It's crazy that it's a governor thing and the president thing to have the flags at half staff of government buildings. And a principal says, no, we're not going to honor this request. But evidently Trump is the dictator, Wow. Anyway, guys, let me see what else is going on here. I think I pretty much did most of these videos already. Oh no, 3 more to go here. Okay, we can do 3 more. Tylenol. In 2017, on their Twitter said, "We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today." From Tylenol in 2017. Somebody was charged with attempted eliminating of a police officer by pushing him onto a subway track. That's craziness. We're almost done. We're almost done. Oh, this Megyn Kelly thing. I didn't see this one all the way through. I think I got 2 or 3 more videos to do here. Okay. Actually, I don't want to watch that one. I do want to watch this one.
Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemy." I want to know why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." Stephen Miller said similar things. How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Okay.
Look it up.
That's not
DOJ just pulled it. The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true because
it just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you pull
DOJ pulled it from their website.
Once you pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have had
every single person in the audience. Google it right now.
You know, this is how we get.
Can you imagine this kind of behavior out there? Have you seen anybody that's kind of angry about certain things, that doesn't understand left-wing, right-wing violence and how studies that are ran by liberals in government can be tainted in certain ways? You understand how that works, since 80% of the people in government do those studies or get paid for doing those studies by other people in the government. So they need those studies to sort of reflect a certain thing. So they will intentionally miss out on certain things or add certain things.
So first of all, let me take on the first part of the premise of your question, that it was President Trump's rhetoric that led to an assassin killing our friend Charlie Kirk. That's a blatant lie. It's a defamatory blaspheme, and it's inappropriate in this setting.
That's not what I said.
We know. Yes, it is.
No, I said he contributed to the political atmosphere.
Well, then you have no point. Then your point is utterly empty. Contributing to the atmosphere. This guy was. No, let's just make clear. This guy was motivated by leftist ideology. We know it from the bullet casings. We know it from the Utah governor. We know it from his own mother. Yes, we do. Let's be really clear on that.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying, because let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the...
No, does he seem more upset that the Trump stated an opinion than Charlie Kirk losing his life? Seems like he's more upset that Trump stated an opinion, which he's known to do a few times, than Charlie Kirk.
The United States to incite violence against liberals?
How did he incite violence? Saying somebody is a political enemy is his political enemy. As president, he's a politician. If he was, say, a general in the army or something like that, and he's looking across the battlefield at someone else, then maybe you sort of fear for somebody's life at that point. But no, politician right now.
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating. It was on the heels of Erica Kirk saying she, in an extraordinary moment, forgave her husband's killer. And let me finish. And then President Trump got up and, making a joke, playing off of what Erica said, he said, "We disagree. I need to do better. Erica's going to try to convince me, but I'm in a different place." And that's completely normal for a politician to be thinking about his political fights. And by the way, Trump has every right to loathe his enemies. They tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to put his family in jail. And they tried to kill him.
Criminal.
Wait. Okay, now you go.
Jack Smith.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
hopefully they get more of those videos out there, like TPUSA or whatever. But anyway, I haven't seen a whole lot of videos besides little ones like that pop in and out every once in a while. But so I need to follow TPUSA Twitter if I'm not already. Anyhow, one more, Sean Farage, unless I watch this other thing here. But anyway, see what he said. No, I don't know if I can play this based on the medical stuff that YouTube says, but evidently Sean Farage said something ineffective. In light of the many liberals chugging Tylenol to spite Trump, I find this a bit of Trump endorsing oxygen relevant. I made that sort of joke the other day, but would liberals out there be anti-oxygen if Trump said it was pro-oxygen? Or would some liberals say, what's oxygen? Anyway, he's a funny guy. Oh, yeah. Not that I'm grifting one last time. Not that I would do anything like that. But if I was to grift or whatever, I would say, I've got one more song that's out there, whatever. If you wanted to donate while the song is playing or whatever, since I haven't even heard the song, you can if you want to. If you want to make sure you don't hurt my feelings. Not that I'm grifting. Some people grift or whatever. I'm not the grifter here, but I'm going to play this song anyway, even though you guys didn't really hit that goal earlier. So, okay, so that's how nice I am. So don't say that I'm not nice like that other song that was out there. Okay, they call this song the best grift anthem. I'm not sure what it means, but see if you like this song here, as it'll be the last thing we do tonight here before I raid you over to Emmett here. At least if he's still going, he's plays video games, has political opinions, things like that. So I'll read you over there after I play the song.
Who's got the keys to the treasure chest? Not me, not you, but he does best. Mr. Bill with the tilt of his hat, he's a hurricane wrapped in a diplomat. Cashing in on the fallout glow, where the river bends, that's where he'll go. A paper trail to a throne of sand.
What?
Built by the work of another man. Grip the sky, grip the crown. Turn the silence into sound. Mr. Bill don't need no crown, just a game and a hustle round and round. Slicker than oil on a rain-soaked street. Words like
It's another song about me grifting, isn't it, EOD? I don't grift here. These people say that I grift all the time. I do not grift. Bill Tifa, fake news. We'll still keep it going. Just as I said, I would play it.
fire that you cannot beat. He's the shadow dancing in the light. The fine print you missed in the dead of night. Promises stick like a web of glue, but it's gone by the morning, nothing left for you. He's the echo in a hollow hall. The phone that rings with no one to call. Is it wrong? Is it right? Or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his
We'll do K-pop tomorrow.
Is it right? Or just a trick of the light? The
I'll call him.
anthem plays as he takes his flight.
Air guitar.
Protesters as well. So sit down, buckle up, and relax. Here we go.
Grip the sky, grip the ground. Turn the silence into sound. Mr. Bill don't need no crown, just a game and a hustle round and round. Trickle in oil on the rain-soaked street. Words like fire that you can't unbeat. He's the shadow dancing in the light. The fine print you missed in the dead of night. Promises stick like a web of glue, but it's gone by the morning, nothing left for you. He's the echo in a hollow hall. The phone that rings with no one to call. Is it wrong? Is it right? Or just a trick of the light? The anthem anthem plays as he takes his flight. Is it wrong? Is it right? Or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his flight. Is it wrong? Is it right? Or just a trick of the light? The anthem plays as he takes his flight.
It's, again, fake news on these songs. Fake news on all these songs here. I had no idea what that stuff is all about there. But anyway, I'm just going to play this fast here. As we end the stream here shortly here, we're going to go visit Emmett over there. There's other people I could rate also, Speakeasies Live or whatever, if you want to see debate stuff. I think Emmett's playing games and talking about politics and different things, but give him a subscription. Even though I only got 2 new subscribers tonight. Not that I'm grifting off saying that, but I only got 2 new subscribers tonight. So some of you guys out there are either not human or you don't care about my feelings, since I only saw that I got 2, maybe 3 new subscribers tonight. But if you guys want to care about my feelings, there's still a button down there. It's called the subscribe button. I think it's right there, give or take. Okay, you can still click that button. It's not going to hurt you. Not going to hurt your finger to click that subscribe button before I go, okay? But anyway, of the 44 supposed humans that are in there. But anyway, you're probably all asleep or whatever, and you just have me on in the background. All right, I don't know. Yearning. Charlie, was it? That crazy people out there, crazy people. These quality people here in the screen here, very quality people that have good reasons to hide their masks. There, you know, got to hide their face for some reason or another. There's always a good reason to do that out on a 70 day out there, you know, reason to do that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. It's free. It's free. Yes, it's free. See, unlike the other stuff that I was sort of educating you about doing, like the super chats and things like that, those are not so much free, but the subscribe button is free. Anyway, if you guys want to help me get to 2420, it would be my next goal. And actually, no, 2424 will be the goal that I'll shoot for next. 2,424. So we'll try to shoot for that tomorrow. Okay. Watch me again tomorrow night. Same time, same place, same great station. All right. Stay around. We'll see you over on Emmett's channel. We'll hit the button here that makes you guys watch a 30-second little video thing, and then you'll head over to Emmett's. Okay. Stay over there. If you're over there, I want you guys to ask him a certain question. Ask him if he'll shave his head for money, and ask him how much. Okay. Ask him if he'll shave his head for money, and then ask him how much he would take to shave his head. Okay. Ask him that question for me. Thank you.